Hello there, my name is Brooke LaBerge. I'm doing my movie presentation on the movie Any One of Us. Alright, so I'm going to tell y'all a summary about this whole thing. So the main character in the movie was a professional mountain biker from Reno, Nevada. He fell off his mountain bike and was diagnosed with a spinal cord injury. The type of fracture he had to his spinal cord was a burst fracture, and this is what a burst fracture looks like. Alright, and so it was located in the 12th thoracic T12 nerve, which is in this general area right here. Okay. And there we go. I lost my spot. All right. And so he endured an incomplete injury. All right. So a large part of his spinal cord became detached and became trapped in his spinal canal, and other ligaments in his lower extremities were torn. There was some movement in the proximal portion of his legs, but no movement in the distal parts of the legs. The surgeons decided to move some of the bone involved in the fracture of the spinal cord and close up the injury with a cage. The doctors predicted that he had a 5% chance of being able to walk again, but they were very wrong. 2 years and 6 months later, he was able to walk, even though he needed modified independence to do so with adaptive equipment only when needed to conserve energy. In the beginning, he struggled with poor bladder control without his catheter and some sexual dysfunction, but yet that was recovered. He strengthened his upper body with TheraBands while performing shoulder adduction and abduction in order to perform safe transfers from bed to wheelchair and from wheelchair to the shower chair or the toilet. He needed help performing perineal cleaning as well as having a handrail installed in his bathroom next to the toilet. He had to wear an LTSO, and it was able to perform sit-to-stand transfers with modified independence within 21 days. Later, he was able to independently stand in a swimming pool and use an assisted treadmill. Later on, he was able to perform independence in wheelchair to table surface transfers and could walk with a walker. He began driving again and went from using a wheelchair and a walker to using crutches a few months later. And so he was able to bike ride again, and he was able to walk again with modified independence within 2 years and 6 months. So I do have 3 goals for him. But first, this looks like some of the goals that he was working on. Dynamic standing balance with a walker as well. Every day he was practicing these activities. All right. So I have 3 goals for him. Okay. So goal number 1, client will improve dynamic standing balance to a grade of good within 3 weeks. Number 2, client will continue to improve on trunk control and core balance within 3 weeks. Okay. And this is what these exercises look like. I also have videos on these as well. Goal number 3, client will improve bilateral coordination in upper and lower extremities in order to demonstrate modified independence in bathing within 3 weeks. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you these videos now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see if I can go to YouTube real quick. Okay, because it's not showing them on here for some weird reason. So I'm going to show you 2 videos of what these exercises look like. Okay, so YouTube. And they're really short videos too. Hopefully y'all can hear.
I got this idea. A big...
It's an ad, I believe, but... All right, hold on. Let me go back. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, so perfect. So this is an exercise to build core strength. It's really quick. It's only a minute long.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Ajadi. I'm a physical therapist in Ready Care's Great Neck location. Today I'm going to show you a core exercise with some variations. All you need is a Swiss ball like this. So you lie down on your back and you flatten your back, go into a posterior pelvic tilt. If you have difficulty flattening your back or feeling your core, a strong exhale will help you feel your core a little better. So deep breath in. And push into the table, feet up, and squeeze the ball. Alright, you can hold that for 30 seconds. And then another variation would be...
And these are the knee taps.
Your legs. Or taking your arm off the ball. Or you could do opposite. So if you have any questions about that core exercise, give me a call at 516-829-0030.
All right, so now the other one's going to be on dynamic standing balance. Okay. I was having issues finding the video, so this is just, I'm going to show you a quick clip of this. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. All right, so I just want to show you what it looks like real quick. This is sitting, but I'm trying to get to the part where he's standing. Perfect, so. All right, so this is on an intervention for dynamic standing balance. So he's sitting right now.
Once that's good, you want to go to in the same program, then bring your feet close together, reaching the same program, then we want to go to the cushion. So Bob, why don't you, where is that?
This one right here?
Well, sure, well,
You want to?
oh, it's over here on the floor. You could use this if you're at home and you don't have one of the fancy ones.
So for this
you
next
could
activity, I would highly recommend using a gait belt for this.
And it's
If you're standing on an
amazing.
elevated surface like that,
It's squishy, yeah.
with a
All of
therapist
sudden, it
assisting
turns on
you,
a whole different,
until you feel that you're,
menu as far as balance.
until you and your therapist feel that you're ready to stand on your own without the gait belt. Safety first.
And then all of a sudden this becomes much harder.
Again,
And then you're gonna have someone behind you.
holding on to a belt.
Yep. Get a big gate belt on or hold on to
Gait belt.
your belt to make sure that it's safe. And over here, because we certainly don't want to have a fall.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would kind of defeat the purpose of rehab.
Right.
So,
And once that gets too easy, then the next step, and you know, this is pretty high level.
yeah,
This next level is more for the.
Now this next level
If you're getting to this
is
level,
very, very
you
extreme.
really
So
need
this
to
is only
go
for
with
when he
probably
for when
And that's
the client
single
and his
leg
therapist
belt.
truly
And
feels
this is where
ready.
Someone who is an athlete and they have a sprained ankle and they're recovering from that, this can be a really good.
I would say.
So the standing on one foot,
Do this even after a stroke. If this works
that would be the
on
most
standing on one
advanced
leg.
Sure. Yeah.
in this intervention.
Or just
touch.
Just touch.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
touch over here.
And keep them up at like a good level. That
Right.
You don't have to bend.
See how he's standing on one
And
foot?
because the rotation really gets complicated
Right.
for that level of person. You know, if you
Okay.
are,
All right.
you know, and that'd be great if we had some.
So that's all for that one. All right, and go back to the presentation. All right. So this is his occupation. He was a mountain biker. He also was eventually able to regulate core and trunk control as well as bilateral coordination when riding a bike. But I feel like another great activity for him to do to address all three of my goals would be bowling. So this is a modified version to conserve energy. This is a ramp that he could use where he could just push the ball versus this one where it's more advanced when you're actually using bilateral coordination, core, trunk control, and dynamic standing balance. So you're addressing all three interventions in this picture versus this one is used to conserve energy. But it's a fun activity for him to do that is so much fun that he could even forget that he even has an injury. All right, so this is my activity analysis. All right, so bike riding is therapeutic for the client because it is one of his occupations. But I believe a game of bowling would be another fun way for him to address dynamic standing balance, core balance, and trunk control and bilateral coordination. If he plays a game of bowling, he just needs to be sure that he uses a lighter ball to avoid straining of the back. 6-pound balls in a bowling alley are the lightest bowling balls and are the best fit for this client, and the ball would add light resistance in order to increase his strength in his upper extremities. It depends on which hand he uses to roll the ball down the alley. Bowling requires a lot of back, shoulder, arm, and hip movement, and because of this, it is essential that the client stretches before going bowling. The client will require strong prehension to grasp the holes in the ball, rolling the ball back by using 6 pounds of resistance while performing shoulder extension. Okay, so when he rolls the ball back, he's performing shoulder extension, but then he shoulder flexes to 45 degrees right now. So in this picture, he's shoulder flexing to 45 degrees. While he's rolling the ball down the alley. So that's an example of that. So he's using 6 pounds of resistance while performing shoulder extension. This also requires core strength along with vestibular and balance, which is balance regulation, in order to roll the bowling ball down the alley. By doing this, the client is teaching himself how to balance himself at different positions. If one is unable to swing the ball as demonstrated, a ball ramp, like in this picture right here, in the first picture, can be used while the client is sitting in a chair, and this ball ramp will do the work for him. All he has to do is just slightly tap or push the ball down the ramp. This easier suggestion that uses adaptive equipment also conserves energy, so that all the client would have to do is push the ball down the alley using elbow extension versus weighted shoulder extension, then shoulder flexion at 45 degrees while rolling the ball down the alley. All right, and that is the end of my presentation. Also, we could also look into more activities for the client to do through an interest checklist as well. We could explore more activities that he enjoys doing that are meaningful to him to help him address all three of these goals, because it's not functional unless it addresses all three of his goals, and it's not functional unless it's meaningful to him. All right, thank y'all so very much. I appreciate y'all's time. I hope y'all enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.